But if you can't tell, I'm moving. Like, my stuff is ready to go. They're going to be here at 9 o'clock. Saludos, amores. It's been a minute and I have some huge life updates, so let's just get straight to it. If you don't know who I am, I'm Zarigee, the Digital Dieta RD, and on my page I talk about all things ditching la dieta and loving your chichos. In today's journey of loving your chichos, we are freaking moving. Today is moving day. It's like 6:30 in the morning, and I wanted to share a little bit about what it's been like in preparation for the move, as well as what I'm looking forward to, what I'm scared about as we take this next step to moving. Yeah, it feels totally crazy that I just said that, but it's true. Like, we've been putting in that work to get to this point, and that point is here today. And I'm nervous, I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm anxious, stressed. All night I was sleeping with like my jaw so tight. I kept having to like wake up and readjust my jaw to sleep better. But okay. So the news that I've been holding on for so long is that I'm moving. And we're moving far. We're moving cross country. We're moving to a place we've never been before. Don't know anybody there, really. And it's going to be an experience. Because of the move, I'm going to be bringing you along on the journey, because I want to share this moment for myself. I want to like time capsule it, and I also want to share it for folks who support me on my journey, want to learn what it takes to move, I guess, you know, be a way of supporting people in that way. But I just want to document this for myself, so a year from now I can look back and be like, wow, girl, you did that. But if you can't tell, I'm moving. Like, my stuff is ready to go. They're going to be here at 9 o'clock. I hope that you'll be excited and supportive and sharing your tips as I go along and share this process with you. Get into it, right? Let's talk about the things I did to prepare for this move, because it was a lot. If you didn't know, I was alone for a few months while my husband was training for this new job. That is the reason that we're moving. So I, with my 6 Capricorn placements, was very logical with everything that I had to do to move. And for that looks like, for me, you know, spreadsheets. I'm a spreadsheet girly through and through, so when I found out about the move, let's make some spreadsheets. If you want to like learn about my spreadsheet process for the move, feel free to let me know. Happy to make a video about that. But basically what I did was make spreadsheets to understand how much money I had to save, understand what things needed to be cleared out, decluttered, by when, everything, so that I had it ready before I went on vacation. Was truly the game plan for me, because I didn't want to go on vacation thinking about all the stuff that I wanted to do. Once I did all that, then I had like a game plan, and I was ready to go and knew how to move forward with the move. And it also gave me like some deadlines, some things to look forward to, some ease in my mind as we prepared for this big move, especially since I was doing it alone. Once I dealt with all the logic, I began to process, which looked like a lot of crying, a lot of frustration, a lot of what the hell are we doing, a lot of feelings. Thankfully, I still kept up with therapy, though we switched down to like 1 session a month. Mostly so I could save some coin, but also because I didn't need to see her that regularly at that time, or at this time. But I still had all my, you know, tools that I have to keep me grounded as best as I could, and, you know, process the emotions that I was feeling, because they were a lot. Lots of crying. Lots of crying. Yeah, and I just really took some time to be in my feels about everything, try to vocalize it as best as I could to my friends and loved ones, the best that I could. also that looked like asking for help. I'm not the type of person to ask for help, so asking for help was a big deal for me. And it showed me the beautiful ways that everybody loves and supports me, which was really nice for me to see. I can get into that in a whole separate video, but it was nice to know that I am actually, you know, supported and loved. And my bad thoughts are just my bad thoughts. My anxiety, things that stem from my like childhood beliefs, I guess you could say. So I made sure to really process those feelings. Once, you know, therapy started winding down and I started saving up some extra money, I then took that time to really understand the money part of the move, because that is a big part. Once I did the spreadsheets and calculated how much money I needed for the move, automatic transfers. Automatic transfers was the name of the game, because take the money from me so I don't even have to think about it. I opened up a high yield savings account just for the move. Neat high yield savings account. I recommend the one that I use, not sponsored, just something that I love. I'll put in the referral code in the description box so you can peek around if you're interested in. But I opened up a high yield savings account so I got a little bit of money on my money, and then started those automatic transfers, and then any like extra money that I would get from selling things on Facebook or gigs that I worked or things that my husband did, all that extra money would go into that account. On moving week, I transferred the money from the high yield savings into our checking account, so when the movers took their money, they had their money that day. Seeing that money leave the bank account, I was like, ah! But it's gone. They're coming. We're good. Now that account is going to turn into a trips account. So I'll adjust like how much the reoccurring transfers will be, but it'll still build up to something that we can use for fun now that we hopefully don't have to move for a while, especially not a big move like that. Also took some time to calculate how much tip, you know, the movers needed, and in order to fund the money for their tip, I also counted the coins. We have this huge like water bottle jug of coins that has been moved from my parents' house when I was a child and somehow ended up in my house, and it just keeps like getting empty and full, empty and full. Back in the day, we used to take it to TD Bank and drop it off and get it counted that way, but TD Bank doesn't do that anymore, so I've been counting it. I did like one round of counting and it was $200, so it's a lot of coins. You just have to sit there and count it. Well, I did that, any kind of loose change and stuff, I put it in their tip like section. It wasn't an account necessarily, I just have a bag of coins and stuff that I'm gonna take to the bank after I finish making this video to get the money ready for their tip. Once I, you know, got everything in order money wise, logic wise, emotion wise, then I actually started taking the steps to get the house ready for the move. And something that like really stuck with me to help me throughout the time is like, I don't want to open a box and see something that I would be like, this should be in the trash, or like this doesn't need to be here, or I don't need this, right? So that was like my inner message when I was going through stuff personally to clear out the apartment, because I didn't want anything that I was gonna just like see and be like, why are you here? With that in the back of my mind, I then, logic girl, created a decluttering weekend plan. So what I did was take 1 weekend a month ish to invite my friends over to help me declutter sections of the house. So we would do like the kitchen one weekend, the bedroom one weekend, the office one weekend, and so forth. I did this because 1, I can't focus on too many things at once. 2, I don't like being overwhelmed when I'm doing stuff. And 3, it was just easier for my brain. Like, okay, this is that weekend. So I just blocked off those weekends in my calendar and invited my friends, made a group chat where no one could respond, and told them like, these are the weekends, come when you can, like no pressure. And that was by far the best thing that I did. It was so freaking helpful. We had so much fun spending time together in that way, though it was work. But I made sure to pay my friends in food, nice food, dinner. One time we went to like a restaurant that I wanted to check out. It was a really nice time to spend with my friends in a way that I would never have done because I don't be asking for help like that. But it was great and we had a good time. The groups that formed for the different like decluttering days were really nice and got along really well because it was, you know, like meshing different groups of friends. And it just was a really sweet way that my friends showed up for me in a way that I always, you know, think no one cares about me. And all these beliefs that are not true. That I you know, work really hard to overcome and discredit those beliefs. But it was really nice to feel loved in that way. But it was just really nice. And we got a lot of stuff done. And if it wasn't for them, this apartment would not have been ready to go as it was when I got back from my trip. And moving day is today. If they're watching this, thank you guys so much for being so helpful during those weekends. I appreciate it so much. So the last thing that I did to help prepare for the move is hire movers. Aside from the help that I got for the decluttering weekends, I was basically alone getting the house ready to move. And I'll talk about that in a separate video, what it was like living alone for the first time in my life, because I am a first-gen Dominican daughter, Latina daughter, so you know I couldn't live alone. But I'm gonna talk about that in a separate video, so either click up here to watch it or follow along in the moving playlist as it grows or as it's there if you're watching this way later. But because I knew I was alone, I wasn't going to be packing by myself and I wasn't going to be moving by myself. So I hired movers. These movers have moved my entire family since I was like 7. So it was a no-brainer that I was going to call them and use them. I did reach out to these movers. I reached out to the same sales rep that moved us from the Bronx to the Bronx when we moved to this apartment. So it was just a really easy process. What they basically do is you reach out to them, then they do like a FaceTime inventory type of thing to see how much stuff you have, and then they calculate that, give you a quote. If you pay by e-check, it's like a little bit cheaper. If you choose to include the packing service, which I did because again, I'm not going to be packing by myself. Though I had, you know, quite a lot of time, and there are boxes here, you know, packed, but to pack this entire apartment by yourself, she was not going to do it at all. So they'll be packing and loading everything up into the truck today. I did reach out to them to do a collaborative post, but I haven't heard back, which is kind of lame, but I still, you know, was going to use them because they have been moving us forever. And I just love it. It's so seamless. It's a one price thing, doesn't change or whatever. You can update the inventory up to 2 days before. They take out the money 2 days before. Very easy move, and I know that they've done cross country because they did it with my family. Easy process, and I'm so grateful that we were able to do that and hire them and save the money up for them, because it's just one less thing to stress about when you're doing such a big move like this. So once I did all these things, I was basically ready to freaking move. And I'm going to be having a separate video on how moving day goes. I'm going to link it up here when it's ready and also include it in the playlist when that playlist is on and pop up. Now that we talked a little bit about how I prepped for the move, let's talk about some of the things I'm excited for, because it's a lot. The first thing I'm excited for is exploring a new world, right? We are moving to a world we've never been in. We are moving to a state we've never been to like that. Politics we've never been to like that. Like, we are moving into an environment that is completely new to us, and I'm excited to explore that area, that state, that whole place, to see what it's like, and to learn and to grow and to experience. We've never lived somewhere where driving 2 hours to go somewhere is normal, right? Like everything has always been like close to us. Think like, oh yeah, I have family 5 hours away, we can do that in a weekend. New experiences. I'm also excited to live somewhere where there's so much stuff to explore nearby, in like the neighboring states, the neighboring country, like all these things that I've been wanting to see, like the Antelope Canyon, Grand Canyon, the springs in New Mexico, like all these things that, you know, have been on my life bucket list, but now I'll be like a little closer to them. I'm excited to go and see those things and explore, and finally go to Mexico City. That's been on my list forever, you know, because I'll just be that much closer, hopefully. I don't even know. That I am excited to, like, subcategory of that excitement is like doing the things, like living in New York City and next to New York City our whole life. We put off a lot of the experiences that like people come here to see, and it created like this mad dash for me to like do as much NYC bucket list things as I could before I move. And in this new life that we're going to be having, I don't want to put things off as much. Like if we see a new restaurant, if we see a new experience, if we see a new adventure, something, whatever it is, I want to schedule it into our like plans in a timely manner so that we can experience it, so that we're not at the end of our journey and then we're like, oh my god, we gotta do all these things, especially there because it's so freaking huge. Everything's bigger in Texas, they say. So huge, like we really need to time these things out and plan it accordingly. So I'm really excited for just exploring and doing in Texas. The other thing that I'm excited about is continuing to learn about myself. Like when I was meeting with my therapist and we first talked about like, oh, I'm about to be living alone, a lot of the things that came up was like, this is a new way for you to learn about yourself, and then how you can take those lessons and those things that you learned and incorporate it into your relationship, or how they'll be useful in your relationship later on. And now that we're at the later on part, I'm excited to see how all of those things are going to mesh, and how it creates a stronger relationship with me and a stronger relationship with my partner, so that we could be a badass couple individually and togetherly. What's the opposite word of togetherly? Not the opposite, but a better word. Individually and collectively. Really looking forward to being able to take those lessons and really bring us together and help us be like better communicators, better partners, better friends, better roommates. Sometimes I'd be feeling like a roommate. That's something we talk about a lot. But really being able to just harness all of that stuff that I learned about myself, and I'm sure he learned about himself too, but he lived by himself before. Putting that all together and seeing what it plays out like, I'm really excited for. And also living together again. We haven't lived together for a while because he's been training. And now we get to live together again. So I want to see how that works out too. Like live together again and be new. And be the only thing that you guys know, like you knowing each other, like what that's gonna do, how that's gonna impact us, what way it will impact us. You know, there's a lot there, and I'm looking forward to like seeing how that will play out. Also, if you're from Texas and there's some Texas gems that you know, love or want to see or recommend, drop them in the comments so I can start building up my Texas bucket list, as I want to do all the things while I'm there. The third thing that I'm excited for is starting a family. I think this is going to be the time in our lives where we feel settled enough to start a family in whatever way that looks like. I'm excited to go through that journey, however it looks, and see what happens. Like, me and my husband are dope, and I think we'll have some dope ass kids, and it'll be really cool to see how we parent. In astrocartography, there's like a family line that is going through where we're moving. So the universe, I think, wants me to start having a family, and I'm really excited to see what that looks like. When we will start, I don't know. How we will start, I don't know. But it is cool to think that this chapter may include children. And I'm excited for that. It's scary as hell. Like, us parents. But I think it'll be really cool. And I'm excited to see what that part of our life looks like. Now that I shared some things that I'm super excited for, let's talk about some things that I'm nerve-cited for. Like things that make me nervous, but we'll see, kind of excited. First thing is like lack of walkability. Like, you gotta drive everywhere if you want to go somewhere in Texas. Everywhere you gotta drive. And I'm not used to that. Like, I've been living in the city for quite a while, and we take the I drive. Don't get me wrong, I be driving when I can because it's more convenient sometimes. But the walkability, being able to hop on the train, being able to hop on the bus, like, that is something that I've always, even though it be sucking sometimes, even though at points MTA really be getting on your nerves, it's still better than having to drive everywhere all the time. And sometimes it's freaking quicker. And now I'm gonna be living in a place where I don't have that accessibility. Is wild. Is really wild, and I'm a little bit nervous to see how that will be like. We're also gonna both need cars, which is like more money, but we're gonna be okay. That walkability, I'm gonna miss it a lot. And we'll see what that looks like, how we adapt to it. Also, walkability for the dog, like going on my long walks with Tuna, having a green space so accessible to where we are, and we're not gonna have that now. It's gonna be a shocker to the body, but I'm sure we'll adapt and we'll be fine, and maybe we'll move to a walkable city somewhere else later on. But for now, I am concerned, and what that will do for like my mental health too. I'm a little bit worried because going on a walk to clear out everything is super helpful with Tuna. I'd be loving my walks with Tuna. So going to a place where walking is not the act of walking, but like walking to places, like I know one of my favorite memories is like being somewhere in the city and then like calling a friend and be like, what are you up to? And then just walking to their house. It may be like a 30-minute walk, but like you just walk to somebody's house. Like, I think that is so important for like community and city, and like to be somewhere where that isn't a thing is very nerve-wracking for me, but I know that we'll adapt and it'll be okay. The thing that I'm nerve-cited about is like the political climate of the state that I'm moving into. This is in the news almost every week with some new thing due to the governor. And not to say that New York's not in the news all the time, but not in this way we're in the news. Like, this is a different way that we're in the news. And being a red state, I've never lived in a red state before, don't know what that's like. The way that the media portrays Texas can create an environment or a state of mind where you feel nervous, but then you talk to people that live in Texas and they freaking love it. So it's like, where is it? What is the line? Where is it? How is it really? So I'm like a little bit nervous, but also just like people be talking about New York like New York is crazy, and it's not that bad over here. It is crazy, but everywhere is crazy. We're in America, I'm just interested to see what it will look like to be living in a red state for the first time in our lives. What I'm nerve-cited for is being away from everything that I know, everyone that I know, places that I know, people that I know, experiences that I know, like commonality that I know. Like, I'm really moving somewhere where me and my husband are the only people that we know, plus his coworkers and like people that I follow on social media. and that's it. So having to like create a new community at this age, having to each other at so strongly because we're going to be the only people that we really know is scary. There's no other way to name it other than it's scary. And I know we're going to be okay, but it's like we're going to know nothing. We're not going to know where the good pizza place is. We're not going to know where the good car wash is. We're not going to know where the good park is. We're like, everything is going to be new. Everything's going to be new, and that scares me. Like, part of it partly scares me because like I like to control things, so it's like a lot of surrendering, a lot of letting go, a lot of being in flow. It's also scary just because like we don't know the ins and out of a place we've never been. We don't know like the things that locals know, so it takes time to learn that, but we know nothing. Like, at least moving from Jersey to the city, we knew something. We don't know anything, and we're gonna be figuring that out together. That is scary. And like how accessible things are, like we don't know where the nearest Home Goods is. So it's gonna be really interesting just to see where everything is and how everything is laid out, just being in the not know and then having to be in the know later on. Like, that is a little bit nerve-wracking for me. But again, a lot of prayer, a lot of surrendering, a lot of trusting, a lot of faith. I know we're going to be okay. It's just a matter of communicating and being that support for each other, but not just relying on each other, because then we're both going to get burnt out, and then that's going to suck. So the feels that I have, along with how I prepared for the move, what I'm looking forward to when it comes to Love Your Chichos is sharing the move, the journey of the move with you all. I'll be recording in real time, but I'm not going to be posting in real time just because logistically I don't think I have the capacity to do that, but we'll see. We never know. But either way, I'm going to be like putting it all together in a moving playlist so it's easy for folks to watch. If you've been watching this far along and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you know when I be posting. I'm really excited to be bringing you along and then centering the message of loving your chichos even in this way. Loving your chichos is more like a life thing, right? Loving yourself is multifaceted, doesn't look just one way, and doesn't just pertain to diet culture. It's like the embodiment of loving yourself and what that looks like. Hope that you enjoy this like transition and meshing of my life, and I hope that you can support it and love it and share it and communicate, like leave me comments and things, so that we can grow together, and maybe some other people that are moving along can get that support and love in that way. And once I get settled in the move and everything, something that you can expect on Love Your Chichos is a little bit more consistency and some goodies to support you on your Ditch La Dieta journey, whether that looks like worksheets, planners, workbooks, sessions, one-on-one sessions with me, things like that to support you along on your journey. Make sure that you are subscribed to the mailing list so that you can be up to date when all those things drop. And make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you can see what my life is like, my daily shenanigans is like, as well as on TikTok and Threads, if we're still using Threads by the time that you watch this. And if you've made it this far into the video, I want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me ramble and talk to you about my move, for letting me share some of the things that I'm excited for letting me share some of the things I'm not so excited for letting me share how I prepared for the move. Like, really, thank you for listening to me and sharing space with me and like letting me unload on all of you. And thank you for supporting me. Like, if you just watch whatever I watch because you appreciate me, thank you, because I be all over the place. and I've learned to just accept that I'm all over the place. Thank you for watching, and thank you for, watching the other videos about my move and whatever you end up doing to engage with me. I appreciate it. I am really looking forward to this next chapter, and I'm looking forward to bringing you all along and seeing what it will be like. And since you made it this far, if you could do me a solid and drop some yeehaw emojis or cowboy boot emojis to let me know that you made it to the end, and let the YouTube algorithm know that people are watching my videos. This really helps my channel grow and also helps me know how things are going. That's pretty much it. I need to get my butt ready so that folks can come and get the house. I need to go get the money for the tip. That's really what I need to do. My alarm clock's about to go off in 3 minutes. I need to go get money ready for the tip and get breakfast. We're getting bagels because, we're leaving New York. Might as well get some bagels while we can and get the day started. Thank you again for watching this long. I'll see you in the next video. Love you.